Obviously and hopefully, people of India and Pakistan will realize that soon, that war is an obsolete concept in nuclear age. In First World, there are unconfirmed stories that, especially regarding America, that they're having contacts with the humans of other planets, and the proper communications are being established between Earthlings and ET beings. In simple words, we often term them as aliens. So we are living in a very, very developed world, in a very different world. A developed world, Western democracies and Americans, they had got rid of war through democracy. Democracy equipped with fair play, justice, rule of law, equality, with this concept of welfare state. So the peaceful state of mind that exists in First World. That's why they only react, they do not initiate war. When America was attacked on 1911, that after 1911, Americans had reacted and they came to Afghanistan. They were after the culprits whom had attacked Twin Towers and Pentagon. Some people, they just give that impression uh, that 9/11 attack was orchestrated by US government to gain more power over the people, to curb their liberties, but it is not the case. Those who know the American mind, they know that they cannot even think in these terms. Actually, it is a peaceless state of mind in the third world which initiate such things like 9/11 attacks. Recent violent attack in Germany, when the culprit has been arrested, he was from Tunisia. Third world is everywhere. That uh, peaceless state of mind of people living in developing world is causing breach of peace everywhere. Mostly, though the violence is the domestic violence in America is also of a large scale, and that is a concern of everybody there in USA. But it has some other reasons, some psychological problems, family breakups, loneliness, and all that. Uh, every attack emanated from developing world towards the developed world is outcome of the peaceless state of mind of the dwellers of third world. What we can do is that with the help of developed world, with the help of UN, with the help of our own educated few, we can raise the standards here. We can make both India and Pakistan welfare states. Why I do insist upon the concept of welfare state, of its implementation, the logic behind it is that it removes uncertainty from the minds of the people. Once you're sure that the state is there to help you out, you're not dependent on anyone, nobody can exploit you. And that feelings, that gives you peace of mind. You become a peaceful person when you are not 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 restless, when you are not deprived, when you are in a peaceful environment, your social setup is just and fair, your governmental setup is just and fair, you're getting your rights. So, briefly, peace is a complete package. Whenever I'm being made to think regarding something or to respond regarding something, I do make a lot of research. And interestingly, I do spend everything on it by myself. By this blog initiative and by this initiative of video lectures is not being sponsored by anyone. That is my own venture. for the sake of humanity. I mean, every person, we all cannot become Abdul Sattar ET or something. We are educated beings, and we are also good as he was. But in our own field, uh, we can follow his good deeds in our own way. What reforms we need to make this subcontinent uh, peaceful? One another road which can lead us towards this goal is through democracy. Within the party elections, which will obviously mold our dictatorial behaviors, which are being developed because of the practices of centuries. We were having kingship here, then afterwards, throughout, even in India, civilian dictators were there. But the parties, the Congress I is nothing more than a hereditary organization of Gandhi dynasty. And I don't know how BJP conducts its affairs. It is really funny to claim that we are a largest democracy, but there are no elections within our political parties. It will be fair if we, if our party members, they, they do elect the candidates for National Assembly and Rajya Sabha through vote within the party votes. If you put hand-picked candidates and if they offer you bribes and all that, then you're nothing less than a fascist ruler, right? And it's really, as I have quoted earlier, the examples of two film actresses of India, that they cannot even speak in favor of Pakistan. So though they wanted to in media, Indian media had highlighted this fact that a tiny group of Hindu extremists, whenever they feel like they kill Mahatma Gandhi, they can silence all the voices in favor of Pakistan within India. It's really funny. And then they can capture the power in India. I mean, now RSS is a part of BJP, and BJP is a ruling party of India. All this happens when the fascism is there, when there is no democracy within the political parties. What difference will it make if a party is a democratic in nature? Obviously, everybody, whether a leader or a member of the party, will behave in democratic fashion, will listen to others, will explain and will educate other party members too, and rather will educate the whole nation as well. In the West, political parties, they make attractive programs, party programs, manifestos, manifesto is a controversial word. Mostly it is being used for a communist manifesto. But some party program is always there. Some issues are being highlighted by every candidate, every political party, that they will work for the betterment of people in such and such way. Here in India, especially these days, anti-Pakistan feelings are being exploited to increase the vote bank. Nobody talked about issues which India is facing today among the leadership. I'm not talking about the educated journalists and bureaucrats and diplomats. They're all really concerned and they're also worried about all this. That since long this fascist practice is prevailing here in the subcontinent. India still claims. So, my friend, peace is a complete package. It comes through democracy as is being witnessed in Europe after Second World War. That with flourishing democracy, the Europeans are heading towards integration. The European Union is there and almost now the Europe is one. It's a one unit now. So it comes through democracy. And we have to establish truly democratic institutions if we want lasting peace here in subcontinent. What are the hurdles in this way? That is a very I have to highlight that. As an 8th grade student, the article which I had read in that age, that Pakistani political parties, they're not political parties in true sense because there are no within party elections. That journalist was killed. What fascists they do? Fascists, they implement their agenda by force upon the people. They implement their will upon the people by force. Why so many journalists are being killed here in India and Pakistan? Why so many Western educated political leaders are killed here? Fascists, they do not tolerate them. Well, I was too young when I came into direct contact with Mohtarema Benazir Bhutto. I was a 10th grade student probably at that time. And life of her papa was at stake. Or a first year student, I don't remember exactly. And she came and nobody, her good friends were not there. And only my cricket team was there to welcome her along with her mother. And we were the only listeners to her. There was one more college student with us. We were school students. A college student, a student of first year was there along with us. He was quite brave because she was fighting against the regime and life of her papa was at stake. So I never knew in one meeting you cannot, being a 10th grade student, you cannot assess an Oxford graduate, elder sister of yours. She was president of Oxford Union. I don't know that who had stopped her from holding within party elections. Guessing or speculation is not my way of doing things. But I think that President of Oxford Union cannot ignore the fact at home here in Pakistan that his political party is a hereditary in nature. She has inherited that from her papa, and there are no elections, no democratic practices in it. And at the same time, that is very naive of her that she was expecting from educated bureaucracy that or military that they will allow her to establish her own personal rule or her own family rule of Pakistan. And even now that his son is in politics, I don't know whether he will do that or not. Then we have one more Oxford graduate as a party leader, and he by himself is unable, though he had initiated party elections. And I don't know how Indians will do, Indian leadership, whether Congress I leadership will. But until and unless they are their behavior are democratic, democratic behavior is always very logical behavior. We will remain away from that that fruit which is known as peace. And our progress and prosperity and everything is related with it. Being dwellers, being citizens of subcontinent. I mean, change of heart and change of mind in Pakistan is not enough to promote peace in subcontinent. India shall also follow the suit. Then our thinking level will be the same. Then we will be able to understand our Western friends too. And remember my peace activist friend that political organization, a democratic political organization that believes in collective wisdom through ballot and always need a big team of knowledgeable, tolerant people. The basic concepts regarding democracy, which I have tried again and again to clear in the minds of all my readers and all those who are concerned with it, here in subcontinent and in Middle East and elsewhere, because my blog is being read and viewed around 130 countries of the world. So, being a humanist, I'm concerned with the well-being of everyone. That's why I do explain all these things when are raised before me. thoroughly, spending everything from my own pocket. Uh, it's a teamwork, democracy, and then basic concept regarding constitution. Both India and Pakistan, our constitutions are having that uh, clauses of fundamental rights in it. Once we are convinced that we must give that to our people, it simply means that we are heading towards a welfare state. And once a welfare state is there, uncertainty has been ended, the trust of the people has been increased in government, and obviously the peace of mind is there. So once this peace of mind is being spread at such a large scale, there will be no breach of peace within the subcontinent or anywhere else in the world. As it is now in Europe, they are rich people now. Economy is very important for democracy. You need a large middle class of educated and rich people. Those who can understand these difficult ideas and can implement all that. If anyone of you among you is interested in American political system, just see the formation of electoral college and logic behind it and its composition. You will be astonished to know that probably many of among us here in subcontinent will think that it is easier to make a nuclear bomb than to understand the formation of electoral college and logic behind it, because generally we think that democracy is a name of majority rule. In United States of America, where the federalism prevails, majority is having checks upon it, and electoral college is a check upon majority, along with guaranteed participation of all the states of United States of America. So a friend of mine, a big politician, he was saying that why to go in such details, party elections and all that, and political systems and democracy, and all these things are conducive towards peace, and we have to, I mean, utilize our brains. We need social scientists at large scale. We need good lawyers, and we need good educational institutions which can impart quality education and thus can contribute towards consolidation of democracy. So I hope that my peace activist friends have realized that how much importance I give to their initiatives, and in the end I wish all the best to all of you.